Welkom naar DownNotableContent luisteraars. Ik ben Alex.
そして私は SJ です。2人とも名字は宝生。そしてゲームの世界から皆さんへ特別なコンテンツをお届けします。
Vandaag wij willen een beetje over de verschillende eten van Suriname en Japans met jullie praten.
それでは始めましょう。元気ですか?
Ja, zeker.
どうぞそちらこそ。
Oh, ja. Wel goed. Ja, no, het was een goede dag. Ik heb een beetje gedaan hier en daar, maar no, zo, ik ben een beetje moe, een beetje verdrietig soms, maar wat over you?
いや、あなたが今何を言ったのかは全くわからないんですけれども、今日は仕事がとても忙しく、はっきり言ってすごく疲れてます。まあ、それでも皆さんのために、コンテンツを開発しないとならないので、今日もこうしてここに頑張って頑張っていこうと思います。That's interesting, right?
Oh, so interesting.
Yeah.
Welcome to DownNotableContent. What?
DownNotable.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to DownNotableContent, everyone. So very sorry that you probably couldn't understand what was going on in the introduction, but it does give you a little bit of a hint into what we're going to be talking about today. We've talked pretty extensively about how both of us have many experiences outside of the United States, me in Suriname and SJ in Japan. So what you just heard was us talking in Dutch and in Japanese. And today we're going to draw from those international experiences and share some of those with you.
Should I just go for it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
We're talking about food.
Yeah.
We love food, so we're going to bring you some of our favorite dishes, some of our favorite snacks. And
we got snacks too, huh? That's okay.
Okay. Just some good stuff to
Yeah.
eat. So if you ever find yourself here, definitely check this stuff out, but we're just going to go for it. So.
And I tried to it's really hard to come up with a list of, oh, there it is. The ghost haunting us. If you can hear that. Let me try this. Oh. So you get a dose of what goes on the back end. There you go. Magic. I don't know if I actually fixed it or not. It's hard to come up with this list because there's so much good Japanese food, and also there's a lot of food that Japanese people and myself included would really enjoy, but would probably turn off most foreigners. Stuff like natto, which is it's like,
is
I don't
that
know
the
if it's fermented or
beans?
rotten. Yeah, like beans, and it's like stringy, and you mix it up. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm actually really hungry right now, so talking about this is gonna really suck. But so I tried to come up. So I have a list of 7 dishes, Japanese meals that I think most everybody would enjoy. So if you ever go to Japan, or if you're ever at a Japanese restaurant or something, any of these you can't go wrong with, in my opinion. And my first one is nabe. So nabe, this one would probably be difficult to find in the States. What you typically do is you gather around with your friends or family. You have a little portable stove in the center of the table, and you have boiling water with some broth in it, and then you just put whatever you want in there. It typically will consist of tofu, pork, beef, cabbage. What's that like bean sprout stuff called?
Bean sprouts.
Is that what it is? Maybe.
That's what I just call
that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Maybe a little bit of, you could put some kimchi in there to like, spice it up.
So it's like a soup that you guys are all making around the table, like
yeah,
at the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you even put stuff like noodles in there to cook. And then typically you'd have your own little bowl, and then you would have most people use ponzu, which is kind of like a citrusy, somewhat mild but flavorful sauce kind of thing. So you take all the stuff out of it when it's like done cooking, you put it in your own thing, dip it in there, and then eat it. We also oftentimes in there would have like a raw egg, so you'd like put it in the raw egg and dip it and eat it, which is really, really good. Yeah, so it's like a communal thing. You eat it with people, you have fun while you're eating it, you just dump in ingredients as you go, and you stop putting stuff in when people get full. Yeah,
that's actually way cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Is that considered like a higher end thing, or is it like a pretty...
No, it's like, because of the nature of the dish, it's like you just put in whatever basically, right? So I mean, everybody and from every economic background is gonna eat nabe.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So with my food, with the Surinamese foods that I have chosen to talk about, Suriname doesn't have a crazy amount of variety when it comes to food. They've got a lot of different ingredients, but as far as like meals and dishes that you'll find in restaurants, or at marketplaces or at like mom and pop shops, you pretty much will find the same 3 dishes just about everywhere. And then a separate dish at like their own specialized shops that are all over the place. So there's really like 4 main meals that you'll find that are, particularly Surinamese. And granted, there's a lot of other options, but those are the ones I'm going to talk about. But before I get into those ones, because those are all, pretty tasty, I'm going to talk about some of the lesser or stranger things that I've eaten. The first one is chicken feet. You definitely eat chicken feet in Suriname.
Oh, chicken feet.
It is a thing. Not a fan. Would not recommend it.
Is it just the whole skin and bones?
Yeah.
You just chomp at it? How is it prepared usually?
Boiled.
Boiled? Not even like fried?
I only had it once, and I never
Okay.
had it fried, but I'm sure you could. But yeah, so if you're ever going to Suriname or any other, Central and South American countries where chicken feet are like kind of common, I would recommend doing it once for the experience, but understanding that you're eating it for the experience, not necessarily for how it
Do
tastes.
people there like it? Or do they just eat it because that's what's normal?
It depends on the ethnic group. I think I mentioned this before on the podcast, but Suriname has 4 main, or 5 main ethnicities that make up the country. And so like they all kind of have their own foods that they kind of stick to. And I don't really know which one of those chicken feet comes from, but it's not crazy popular. Like I literally only had it once. Like it's not a daily snack. Or
Yeah.
anything.
Okay. Interesting.
And on that note, another less than stellar thing that I ate is cow liver. Now liver here in the United States is definitely not a common food. I know
Liver is fairly common in Japan.
in other countries, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit more. However, I will say again that when they cook their liver, at least the liver that I ate, it was boiled. So there wasn't really anything to like add to the taste. There was no
Ooh.
sauce. I don't even know like how much seasoning they do, because they're not crazy big on seasoning like this kind of stuff. So it was pretty much like they took liver and dropped it in a
here you go
pot of boiling water. So that's another thing that apparently and that one actually is a bit more common. Like a lot of people will be like, yeah, like I love eating the liver. So yeah, I don't know, maybe you guys like liver. Let me know if you've ever tried it.
Liver in Japan, it's a mixed bag. Excuse me, mixed bag in terms of like popularity. A lot of people really like it. A lot of people don't really care for it. But I like liver when it's prepared well. The seasoning really can make or break it. Like without much seasoning, it tastes really, for lack of a better word, like bloody.
No, seriously, like when I bit into mine, like I was legitimately like, I can taste the remnants of the blood that is in this.
It's really bloody, but if it's seasoned right, in a lot of dishes in Japan, I've enjoyed it in the past, and it's very, very healthy.
Yeah, it is
really good for you. So
yeah,
okay. Well, my next one is gonna be yakiniku. No, it is not yaki niku. It's yakiniku. It means cooked meat.
I was about to say, I know that niku is meat, so I was like, oh.
Yeah, cooked meat, basically. But this yakiniku is also kind of a social meal. Usually, you'll go to like a yakiniku restaurant. I am sure there are yakiniku restaurants around the States. It's pretty similar to like Korean barbecue, if you think about it. You're at a table, there's like a little burner thing in the middle, right? You ordered meat, you put it on, vegetables.
And cook it yourself, yeah.
Yep, and then you have the variety of sauces and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure Korean barbecue and yakiniku share the same roots when you go back in history, because it's basically the same thing, but it's delicious. Any of you that have had Korean barbecue basically know what yakiniku is like.
That's cool.
So
like what kind of sauces are you usually putting in with it?
You've got like the shoyu, which is soy sauce, and then ponzu again is another popular one. Let's see, and just the different brands, right? The proprietary sauces. So
nice.
pretty cool. Like standard. Not a whole lot to talk about, but maybe I'll just go right into my next one then, which is ramen. And everybody knows ramen, but I wanted to talk about this in specific because like most people here, some of you are like really cultured and have been to like ramen joints and had like actual ramen, but most people think of ramen as like top ramen. You cook it in 3 minutes, like that's it. That is technically ramen, but that's not
like
the whole
Americanized,
experience. Well, even in Japan, they have the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Basically, but that's just like fast food. It's not ramen, the whole experience. So ramen, traditionally, if you go to a really tasty place, you'll have the broth, which typically takes a very long time to prepare. One of the most common ones is tonkotsu, which means pork bones, pig bones. And it creates a very rich broth. And you'll have the noodles. My favorite are the really thin ones. And you can get it like al dente kind of, which is really, really good. And then on top, you'll have a whole bunch of different kinds of like vegetables and ingredients. And you have a thing called chashu, which is like really finely sliced pork that's like also really well like marinated and seasoned. That's like just sits at the top. There's like a few of them. You'll also have a seasoned like what do you call it? It's like it's hanjuku tamago in Japanese. It's a hard boiled egg, but the yolk isn't completely
It's a
hard.
soft boiled egg.
Soft boiled egg.
So the white,
right?
the egg white is
Uh-huh.
like cooked, but the yolk is still kind of runny a little bit.
Not quite runny.
But
It's
like
like in the
not
middle.
not like the. It's like kind of like the somewhat not see through.
It's like pasty.
Right. Yeah.
It's pasty.
Yeah.
So it doesn't like take any of the dryness, or it doesn't sap away all the moisture in your mouth.
Yeah.
So you'll have one of those, which would have been pre-marinated in sauce. So like the egg white will be like slightly brown on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
and it's super super flavorful, just extremely good. So, there is a franchise called Jinya Ramen Bar.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Jinya Ramen Bar. I'm pretty sure they're all over like a lot of big cities across the United States. I'm not sure about other places like Sweden, but if you have one of those nearby, please go, because
It's a good representation of what it's like.
it is.
Okay.
It is. And where I lived in Japan, that area was like the capital of ramen. So
When
I
you
have
were there,
very, very high standards.
when you were there as a kid, or when you were there as a young adult?
Both.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You lived in pretty similar parts of the country, but
Yeah, both times.
oh, we'll have to talk about that more. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Ramen.
get the real deal. Get ramen. And one thing you can do if you want to try to recreate it at home, one, go experience it so you know what it's like, and then two, like you can do some of that at home. Like I like to boil some like cabbage and add it to it, which adds some flavor. A little bit of like pepper, and then you can put like, do the soft boiled egg thing and stuff.
Nice.
So really good.
We should go to Jinya sometime. I've wanted to go, but
You've never gone?
uh-uh.
Okay, we're going there.
We should go. Cool.
Yeah, double date.
Bet. Sounds
Okay.
good. Maybe
Right.
that's how we actually introduce
The
you
first time I
to my
actually meet
fiance,
your
'cause
fiance. Yeah.
He still hasn't met her. Sorry.
Yep.
To be fair, quick side note on that. Or did I already talk about having told Grammy and Granddad? No, I don't think I did.
You've told me
About Grammy and
that
Granddad.
you've told them that
That what?
you're engaged, right?
Yeah, but like it was like a month after it was like just like last week. Like we had been engaged for a month, and I hadn't like personally told our grandparents that we were engaged until like last week when I saw them, and was like, they were like, "So you have some news, huh?" Because I just posted it on Facebook. I remember talking about this.
Oh, okay.
I think I did. Anyway. Cool. We'll go sometime. We'll go. Cool. Okay. So I want to talk about fruit real quick. I'm going to talk about 3 fruits. Banan, which are just bananas. The apples in Suriname, which is again just apple.
Really? It's just called apple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then pompomo. So to start with the pompomo, no, I don't. I'll explain it in a second.
Okay,
It's really good. So the bananas that they have your normal bananas.
Excuse me.
And they also have really mini bananas. But the thing about the fruit in Suriname, the farming and the agricultural business hasn't really been like modernized. Like they don't use tons of machinery. And because of like transport around the country and stuff, you don't have like one company or one farm that just supplies all the fruit. Like each individual store, contracts out with an individual who has a farm for their fruit and stuff. And what that means is that the soil is actually really, really good. And Suriname's very near the equator, so it's very tropical year round. So you can have, lots of different types of fruits growing all the time. And the sugar, the fruits haven't been genetically modified, so all the sugars in the fruit are all natural. and it makes it a very different experience. So like even bananas, which I don't think you'd normally consider to be a sweet fruit, are pretty sweet. And they've got these tiny little ones that taste like how apples here in America taste, but you're eating it with the texture of a banana. But it's really good. They're very good. And the apples themselves are always crisp and always like a very juicy sweet apple. Like I don't tend to eat tons of apples, but every time I did, like I can remember being like, this is such a refreshing piece of fruit. It was just always very, very high quality.
Nice.
Even though, you walk through the fields and you see these people that are growing on farms and you see their living conditions, and you would imagine that they wouldn't really be able to create or grow something that tastes very good, but it's just beautiful every single time.
Interesting.
And a pompelmo, it's kind of hard to describe. So it's a citrusy type fruit because it's got its outer peel that you peel away. And imagine peeling an orange, and you have like all that skin that's still kind of on the orange fruit itself. So pompelmo's like that, but that skin's pretty thick, and it's not something that you'd eat. So once you peel through the shell, and I mean, pompelmo's, for you visual watchers, it's decently big, and for your audio, that's, I mean,
like a really big grapefruit, like a melon.
Yeah, like a smaller
melon,
something like a cantaloupe size.
Yeah.
So you peel that away, and then you get to the skin, and then you peel all the skin off too, and you're left with this fruit that's still like segmented into slices naturally, like an orange is, or like a cutie is. But the fruit is not. It's not just like one piece of fruit. It's like a bunch of tiny little, like sacks of like juice. They're just like these, and you could like literally break the slice apart, and it would just fall into like little.
Wait,
tiny
I think you've
sacks.
told me about this fruit before.
Oh, definitely.
So it's
tell
like
most people about these.
I think the way you described it to me in the past was it's like an orange, but then when you open up the orange and you peel away the skin that's on the orange slice itself, like it has like a whole bunch of little things on the inside, those little sacks, right? But they're like bigger on that fruit.
Yeah. So like, we'll put this picture up, and so like you see those lines within the slices. All those are like an individual sack that go towards that center.
Okay.
But it's just all. Yeah, it's like nice and crispy. The juice is really sweet. I've heard them compared to grapefruits. I feel like grapefruit is bitter the right word for kind of the aftertaste?
Grapefruit is bitter.
Is a bitter fruit.
Yeah.
So pompelmos aren't that way. They're very, very sweet and very good. So it's got like that initial sweetness or punch that a grapefruit has, but more of, I don't even know how to describe it. It's so good.
Can you eat that like a citrus, like an orange, like where you just?
I'm sure you could
pop the whole thing in your mouth, or do you
like eat the individual slice?
Yeah.
With or without the skin?
With the skin. You don't?
I never have. The skin is like thick. Like you're talking
because
like,
it looks thin just from the picture.
Oh no, yeah. So this is showing one that's already been peeled of the skin.
Oh,
this picture.
Okay.
So that is just the individual slices that you would eat, but like that's the skin that you're looking for, and that's
gotcha.
Maybe like 8 to 10 layers of what the skin on an orange
that looks
is like.
Really thick grapefruit skin.
Yeah. So it's really thick. So you definitely peel it away. And I've never seen anyone eating it. I'm sure you could. I mean, it's from a fruit. Like it's not going to be inedible.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really good.
I really want to try that. I love citrus. Like that's like my favorite category of fruit. So.
I'm in a page on Facebook called Suriname Eten in America. So just Surinamese food in America. And I've asked a few separate times, like, are these sold anywhere? I'm here in Utah. Like, is there anywhere that I can go? And every time the answer is no. So now, if I ever get the chance as I'm traveling around the country, like I'll check in and see if there's anywhere that I can stop to get one. Because, I mean, they're big fruits. Like, you don't eat an entire one in one sitting. But I would go through 1 or 2 of those on my own every single week. Cause
that sounds so
I would just eat them for
amazing.
breakfast. It's so good.
They
and
might
really
have 'em,
healthy.
like, along the, east and west coast, I wonder. Places where it's like easier to get it just shipped in or
I
something.
imagine, like in Florida, there's a lot of Surinamese immigrants in Florida, and I would imagine it's like the climate's similar to where they'd be able to grow it fairly successfully, but
not in Utah.
no, not here. So
Okay. Well, my next one is karage, which is basically fried chicken. But there's something about karage that's not the same as fried chicken. My understanding is karage is typically chicken legs. So it's like tender, juicy. And at any convenience store you can find in Japan, you can find just a little pack of karage for a few bucks. And it's really good. And one of the best feelings is just like when you're really tired at the end of the day, you just go to the 7-Eleven and get a thing of karage, and each like franchise usually will have like their own brand. And it's just so good. And you just walk home with it and you just eat it, and it's so warm, crunchy, and the seasoning is so good. And I also was one time in an area that is considered to have the best karage in the country. And, oh gosh, what was the name of that place? It's not Saijo. I can't remember. Anyway, it's really good. So I'll put up pictures too for all you visual watchers, listeners, and it's good stuff. I'm sure you could find karage in the States. You can make it yourself. If you look up like how to make karage, that's KARAAGE. I'm sure you could do it. It takes a lot of time and effort to do. It's not a very simple process. Yeah,
makes sense. I love me some fried chicken. So
I'm so hungry. I am so hungry. This is killing me.
All right, my next one. There is a food called bara, which they consider to be the Surinamese donut. But it's not a donut. It is very savory. It's more along the lines of if like a croissant and a bagel had a baby.
That sounds good.
But it's got Yafan's spices, so spices that come from the island of Java in Indonesia originally. It's good. You eat it with mashed potatoes and other stuff. It's a very dense, filling bread, and it's good. Another one is bakaban, which is baked plantains.
Baka means idiot in Japan. In Japanese. Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. But when Surinamese people say something's been baked, what they mean is that it's been deep fried. So they take plantains, they slice them into long. You usually take one plantain and slice it 4 times down the length of it. Put it in a batter, fry them up till they're golden brown, and then serve it with they call it bindasample. It's a peanut sauce that has a little bit of spice to it.
That sounds really good.
It is. So like you get the sweetness from the plantain, but then the saltiness from your little peanut sauce, and
I'm salivating.
It's a very nice dessert.
Like actually salivating.
You're almost there, man. I promise. We're almost there. But honestly, like there are a lot more Surinamese desserts and snacky stuff that I could talk about. But those I think highlight what Suriname is. They have their own
Okay.
takes on American stuff. They have
Okay.
Surinamese donuts that are more traditional.
Do they have McDonald's?
They do have McDonald's.
How's the Surinamese McDonald's?
So, like when it comes to McDonald's hamburgers are actually like required to be the same, or at least the Big Mac is required to be the exact same everywhere in the world.
Okay.
And so the burgers they just ship in from the United States, so they're the exact same. But the main difference for Surinamese McDonald's is that they have fried chicken as a part of their menu.
Okay.
It's just basic stuff. I mean, Surinamese people love their fried chicken. Like McDonald's, KFC, and Popeyes are like really big fast foods that are there.
Yeah.
There's still only like 3 or 4 of them in the entire country, but like that's a lot for them. But those are like, so fried chicken at McDonald's is a thing in Suriname, and it's good. I mean, it's just like the fried chicken that you would get from somewhere like KFC.
Right.
It's not anything crazy special, but it's good.
I asked because they have McDonald's all over Japan too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but it tastes different. It's a little different. And a lot of people say that it tastes better. I don't know. I'd have to compare them side by side. I honestly really enjoy the Big Mac wherever I am. And stuff like Doritos. Like they have Doritos in Japan, but the seasoning is just
a little different.
Slightly different. Yeah. Not for better or worse, just a little different.
Yeah. I will say one thing that McDonald's in Suriname definitely does better is their Coke. Coca-Cola in Suriname.
Really?
So everywhere in Suriname, any house you go to, someone will have a 2-liter of Coca-Cola in their fridge. And since it's South America, they don't use refined sugar, they use cane sugar. And it is so good. And since McDonald's has their partnership with Cokes, even internationally, they tend to mix more of their syrup into it. So you have more flavor in that Coke automatically, and that syrup's being made with cane sugar instead.
Wow.
And it is like when I drink Coke now, like it's not satisfying anymore. I've literally switched over to like my main soda now being root beer, because when I got home for a while, I just didn't drink Coke, and then I did, and some places still get it right.
I feel like
But
McDonald's Coke in the States, like people go to McDonald's to buy Coke, right? Like, isn't that a thing?
No, yeah, like because McDonald's and Coke have that option where Coke gives McDonald's more of their syrup, so McDonald's is able to put more syrup into their mixture, so every cup is more flavorful.
But the Surinamese one is even better, huh?
Yeah, because that syrup's made with better sugar, and it's just so good. It's so good.
Dang.
But yeah,
I'm a Pepsi man myself.
you are.
Yeah.
You are, and that's okay. That's okay. I'd
love to try the Surinamese Coke though.
Oh, I wish I had. And like before people go off and say, "Oh, is it as good as Mexican Coke in bottles?" Yes, it is. It is. It's so
You've
good.
had the Mexican Coke in bottles?
Uh-huh. I swear this Surinamese Coke is the nectar of angels. It's
amazing.
Oh, God. So good.
Okay, well I've got 3 left, but I don't need to take up a lot of time. So gyoza, most of you know what that is. That is pot stickers. Gyoza is so good. You know what it is, right? It's the thing. You got meat, some cabbage, other whatevers inside, a little pocket
Dough.
So yep,
good.
that is then fried. Fantastic. Well, sometimes it's fried. It can also be boiled. It can be in soups. Or it can be just like seared, on a pan. If you go to Jinya, that I was telling you about earlier, order their gyoza because they have very good gyoza there. I believe theirs is fried or seared. I can't remember. Next one is takoyaki. Taco is octopus. Yaki is to burn or cook. Usually it is, you have these dough that's like cooked in like a sphere, and then on the inside you'll have the ingredients, which typically comprises cabbage, the main one being octopus. You'll have like a piece of octopus leg in there, some like seasoning stuff, and maybe corn if that person felt like it or whatever. It's really, really good. And if you're not an octopus person, or if octopus is too expensive, you can also just buy takoyaki mix. So if you have like an Asian market nearby, just go over there, try to find takoyaki mix. Takoyaki is spelled Takoyaki. You can buy that mix, follow the instructions to make your dough, and instead of octopus, you can just put like little hot dog slices in it, and it's still really good. I did that a lot of times while I was on my mission. But you do need to have a special pan to cook it in. Yeah, that's got these like golf ball hole looking things. Yeah. So, but I'm pretty sure you can find them on Amazon. And then my last one is okonomiyaki, which is a specialty of Hiroshima. That's a prefecture where I lived for a very long time in Japan. And this also is, you've got like your base dough mix, pancake mix kind of stuff, and then you'll have you might have some bacon in there, you might have cabbage, and a lot of other things, and you cook it on a skillet. It's really good. And then you have okonomiyaki sauce that you put over it, and then I'll put some like a dried up fish flakes on top for like a little bit of extra seasoning. And then when the fish flakes touch the okonomiyaki, because it's hot and because it's so thin and flaky, it kind of like moves around, so it looks like it's like alive. It's very good. Also, that one is very easy to make at home. So if you look up okonomiyaki, that is spelled okonomiyaki, okonomiyaki. Very good, very easy to make. But make sure you get the right sauce. Go to that Asian market and buy the right sauce, okonomiyaki sauce, because that makes all the difference. Oh, you also eat it with mayo. That's really good. Nice. Yeah.
There you go. Sweet. I've got 4 that I'm going to run through real quick. You have nasi, which is fried rice, but they throw in more Yafan's spices. And they usually give you a piece of fried chicken, like not like KFC fried chicken, like chicken that's just been fried in a pan with oil.
Okay.
And it's okay. Or they also throw in spicy pickles, spicy cabbage, and peppers, because they really like their spicy food there. It's okay, but I've always found that nasi had kind of a sandy texture. Like the spices don't fully blend with the rice or something.
So
the texture isn't very pleasing to eat a lot of the times. But this is one of those things that you can buy literally anywhere. Every place sells nasi. And then you have bami, which is the same thing, except instead of rice, it's the noodles. So you still get the fried chicken, the cabbage, the pickle, the peppers, but it's like yellow noodles instead. Also not a crazy big fan, because it tends to be fairly flavorless, unless you really like spicy food, and then they'll throw pepper sauce on, which is just pepper sauce. But the peppers that they use are very, very spicy. But yeah, still not my favorite, but again, something you can get literally anywhere. And then we have 2 of my favorite foods of all time. Sauto is a soup. So the sauto itself is a chicken broth. And you make the broth, and then you throw in loose powder, which I'm pretty sure is ginger or something fairly similar to ginger. You throw some of that in. You throw some bay leaves in. You throw some lemongrass in. Salt.
I didn't know they cooked with Pokemon
MSG.
down there.
Oh, it's so good, man.
Yeah.
It's so good. But you boil that. And something that me and the other missionaries would do is we would also cut up potatoes and throw it in there because it gives it a little bit of substance. But you take that broth and you pour over bowls of rice. And then you hard boil eggs and throw a hard boiled egg in there. And you boil chicken and then shred it up. And they usually don't fry it, but we would then fry it up and then throw that in there too. And so you just have this very filling soup.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
It's so good. It's so good that I bought all the ingredients to make it and brought it home with me and saved those ingredients for days where I'm upset or sad. And then I make myself some sauto, and it is so good.
Your special meal.
It's so good, man. Like,
do you have enough ingredients to last you for a while?
Yeah, because I've kept myself from using it very often. And I know that the Asian market just over, I'm not gonna give specific location, but the one near here, has pretty much everything that you'd need to make it. You'd have to get
cool.
We did have to use ginger instead of traditional loose powder or loose root, but it tasted pretty dang similar. You also throw pepper sauce in that, and they make a soy sauce where they take pepper sauce and soy sauce and mix it so it's a really spicy soy sauce. You take just a couple spoonfuls, drop it in there. Oh, man. It's literally so good.
Oh, gosh.
It's so good.
Is that your last one?
I got one more for you real quick.
Come on.
Roti is a curried chicken, so just like chicken masala. But the roti itself is like this tortilla thing where you make the dough and then you can mix. Some people do it different. So like you'll take one of them and then you can fill it with stuff and then you roll them out really thin and heat them up in a pan. But I've had ones where it's mixed with nothing, things where it's mixed with mashed potatoes. I think when I learned how to make them, the woman told me that you could even do like plantains and do like a sweet roti instead. You like get the dough, you fill it with whatever, and then you take another piece of dough and put it, flatten it, and then kick them up, and you've got your, chicken curry, and you just tear the tortilla into like strips, pick it up, throw it in your hand.
Stop it.
It is, it's garbanzo beans as well. You also take really finely processed garbanzo beans and mix that into the dough. It is so good. Does a number on your digestive system because the curry that they use is really spicy.
I bet.
But like,
it's worth the pain.
When I celebrated my birthday in Suriname, it was roti. My last meal in Suriname was roti. My first meal in Suriname was roti. Every time we brought new missionaries into the country, first thing we got them was roti because it is so good. And I have stuff to make that too. I haven't made it because it's a really long process. Like making that dough and those tortillas because you have to let the dough rise. They don't use rising dough or yeast, whatever it is. But it takes a while. So I haven't made it. But the next time there is a Hindu holiday, because it's a Hindu dish, which I think will be Diwali, because I missed Pagwa this year. Will be Diwali, and I'm going to make it then, because it's going to be really good. But there you go. I'm sorry that we've put you through 45 minutes of excruciating pain talking about delicious food.
Are you hungry right now?
I had dinner beforehand to prepare myself for this. You're there. We made it. We made it.
Yeah, right after this, I'm going to figure out what to eat. what are your favorite international outside of the United States dishes? Let us know. Or
Yeah.
if you've eaten any of the things that we've talked about in the past. You've got all our contact information, email, social media stuff, all that's in the description.
And I do want to say, because we forgot to say it at the beginning, that in between the last time we recorded and this episode, we received not one, but 2 more emails from Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
I went ahead and read through them. They were awesome.
Yeah.
In one of them, he talked about, I had mentioned how much my fiance likes Legos, and he sent me a picture of his room. And guys,
Really, really cool Lego stuff, Oscar.
Like,
Holy cow.
lots of really cool sets that I've never seen before. Like, he had a Bowser in there. I didn't know there was a Bowser Lego set. Like, there's a lot of really cool stuff that he showed us. So thank you for that. That was super, super cool. And then he also sent us his own list of games that are more niche. And I thought it was kind of interesting reading through it because...
It was, and he's like, and he presented it as, these are the games that shape me into the gamer that I am.
Yeah.
So, like, pretty important games.
Yeah. And it was interesting to see because, like, I recognized just about each and every one of them. I haven't played all of them.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to see games like Minecraft because Minecraft was really big here, and then it kind of quieted down for a year or two. But then, I mean, in my junior year of high school, which was 4 years ago, like, it boomed back up, and like I was hearing about it all the time again.
And it's never like...
It's never fully gone away.
No, there is... I mean, I think the most gaming content on YouTube, I could be wrong, is Minecraft.
I think so. That would make sense.
And his favorite, I think, game he said on here was that Luigi's Mansion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is interesting. And I love Luigi's Mansion too. Oscar said he plays it like annually.
Yeah.
So
like around Halloween time, right?
Right, yeah.
So
That's
thank you
good.
very much, Oscar. We really do appreciate it, and wanted to let you know and hear how much we appreciate it by giving you a special little shout out here on this episode.
And also Jonah too. He sent an email. Did you see that one?
No.
Yeah, he sent one in talking about how it kind of took him back memory lane when you were talking about Battlefront 2. That he felt like it helped you guys connect when you were on vacation together and stuff.
He did?
Yeah, you'll have to read that one.
Oh, thanks, Jonah.
It's a really nice email. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this came in yesterday.
Yeah. So thank you for all the emails, and emails provide a good way to like tell us a lot of stories, because you may not want to do that on a social media comment section. So we welcome those, and we really enjoy those.
And I'd also like to thank everyone that's been participating in the Discord chat, because that is giving us a lot of motivation to be more active on that front of our page. So thank you very much. We hope that that is also enjoyable, and we look forward to continuing to improve that experience for everyone.
We gotta get you
so
in
go ahead
there.
and check it out. Yeah. I promise I monitor it. I haven't monitored it in a while. I monitored it today. But I will definitely go ahead and get my personal account added in there.
And we cannot forget, thank you to Joshua,
Of course.
our Patreon supporter, our Down to Earth Cockatiel, for always supporting us. We love you very much. And did that Patreon episode go up already?
It's been recorded. By the time this one is... No, it wasn't, because I know that it's drafted and ready to be published.
It'll go up tonight. So by the time you're listening to this, you probably
will
have
have
already
heard
seen it.
It's at least
Anyway.
updated, uploaded by then.
Yep. Okay. Talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.